Hi Aquarius, this is your August 2020 tarot forecast. So this is for Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. So if you are Aquarius Venus watching, for example, this is probably more of a love or romance reading for you. Otherwise, Sun, Moon, Rising Aquarians, this can be a general reading for you. Whatever is currently going on in your life is what I invite you to take these messages and apply them to. So what do you need to know for August 2020? Messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for August 2020. Messages, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Venus for Aquarius. Wow, okay guys, so let's get out a Celtic cross for you. As always, I'll get a card from each of the oracle decks to polish off your reading. So we have some entrepreneurial energy here, or a fire sign woman, or female energy, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. But this is also the situation for the month for you, and hard work. So you could be dealing with someone, when we're dealing with, say, Aries or boss energy, someone who's in leadership position. It could have to do with work or something that you're apprenticing or becoming really good at. And this could just be your energy. You're definitely building up your skill set. You're definitely getting better and better at something. You're becoming maybe closer and closer to being the boss. Very interesting that we have the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords mirroring each other. We'll look at that in detail in just a moment. We do have two majors mirroring each other here. We have the Lovers and Hermit. I also want to mention that these are both energies are ruled planetarily. They're ruled, this is sign Virgo, this is the sign Gemini, but Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury. So this is a lot of communication, information sharing, data gathering. This could very well have to do with work and service and health. And this could very well have to do with what you love and putting your heart into something. There could be a couple involved, or there could just be a leveling up here. It is nice to see this Leo King here. All the kings are fixed signs. That's how I look at, that's how the tarot works. All the kings are fixed signs, and of course fixed fire is Leo. So that's why I'm reading it this way. All of the queens are cardinals. That's why I'm reading the fire cardinal as Aries, as it were. So yeah, we have some really gorgeous energy back down here. Really looking at, say, the third week of the month. Gorgeous. Definitely women involved. Definitely. And we have, again, some more swords energy here. And this is in your hopes and wishes. And then we have an outcome card being stability. So I would avoid conflict and strong personality conflicts at this time. We have bottom of the deck energy being a Libra or balanced, or the divorce queen energy. So we have a few queens. Whenever I see two or more queens, I know that we're dealing with maliciousness, drama, what's it called? There's this sense of slander, right? Slander and maliciousness could play a big part here. And there could be, because this is in the position of how you see yourself, you definitely see yourself as someone who's in charge, who has all the answers, who's very effervescent and outgoing, someone who's very good at being the boss. And it could be that you're leveling up, or you want this position, or you're in line for this position, because this is this is all very work orientated here, but there's something in the communication process here. There's something that's either being missed or left out, or needs to be considered here, because we're dealing with hypervigilance over here, very great intelligence, but also change, swift movement. And then we're dealing with somewhat aggressive intellect, aggressive personalities, domineering, communication. And, as you can see, it's sort of right in line here with this person who's the boss. So I would say if this is a work reading for you, or employment reading for you, or even income, or, like I said, apprenticeship, I would say for the month of August, guys, I'd really sort of not necessarily tiptoe around something, but watch what you're saying and watch what's being said and how So you are presenting something as well as yourself, because reputation could play a big part in this here in this month. Bottom of the deck energy, like I said, we're dealing with, this is technically sort of, you know, the cold heart type thing. But it's only because she's experienced, she's seen and done everything. You can't really get anything by her. And she's got that white owl of wisdom. So great deal of wisdom. So you're aware of something, you're knowledgeable of something, but it is very curious here to see Queen of Wands crossed by the Eight of Pentacles is your situation and what's crossing it. So yeah, this very likely has to do with work, service, or health. And, you know, Aries is the ruler. Sorry, the first house is the ruler of Aries. So this definitely has to do with, you know, self-propulsion, self-management, self-advocacy, okay, that type of thing here. So it could be that you're advocating for yourself at work through an employment situation or a health or service situation. But you're in a really strong position. This is a very, very strong personality type. It's a very, very strong, say, element. Obviously, fire is a very transformative energy. It transforms in a very, very different way, say, than water does. But you'll notice there's no water in your reading for the month. So there's really nothing happening here, or that's, I should say, that's affecting, say, your heart space, even with regard to a possible conflict or some, you know, some energy here, like I said, with the Page of Swords over here, the Knight of Swords. Definitely, there's someone who's alert. There's a lot of opinions here, but there's definitely a situation where change could be on its way. I would get your ducks in a row here. I would make sure that there's notes. You have your notes and you have your dates and everything's ticked off, because there could be deception and a need for extra vigilance. And then there's a sense of victory down here as well. So it could be because of note-taking that you can assure yourself of extra vigilance, or it's being advised to you now, like really get those notes, really get that evidence. But bottom of the deck energy, yeah, gorgeous to see an ace. All the same, really. It's not very often that I'm seeing aces. Certainly, I really haven't seen any for anyone in the month of August, so it is nice to see an ace for you. And this is clarity. This is clear thinking, decision. It's also a victory. So there is a major victory. Now, this is mirroring this difficult energy up here where you want to have all your ducks in a row. You want to make sure how... I would really spend some time, if you're interested in a victory or, you know, clear-mindedness, in protecting your reputation at this time, because there could be some conflict here. There could be some, like I said, there's maliciousness, there's slander. There's definitely something going on with at least one other female, something having to do with a boss. There could be a male Leo involved here as well, if that is not your energy, but it does have to do with women, at least one woman. And yeah, and we see this conflict here between these two really, really strong personality types. So, you know, I would just prepare for extra vigilance at this time and protect your reputation. Spend some time protecting your reputation while self-advocating. Here in your recent past, there has been a decision made to highest consciousness, right? You're definitely not being sunk by something. You're definitely looking at the bigger picture. You're definitely not being dragged down by, say, obsession or by possession or like anything lowest common denominator. This is a really good indicator for me that you, because it's in your recent past especially, that what is going on in the month of August here could very well work out in your favor, because it looks like your motivation or intention here, at least, again, and this is why it's important to protect your reputation, is that there is such a well-meaningness here. There's a sense of well-meaning. There's a sense of higher good here. So, but ultimately the Lovers is asking, it is in your recent past, so it has asked you to make a decision based on the heart, right, as opposed to the mind, like, you know, clinical versus this sense of compassion, and you've really chosen the sense of compassion. And it is interesting to note, I said there's no cups here, right? And we do, Lovers is Gemini ruled, it's air ruled, it's really, you're in your element, and somehow you've managed to elementally sort of conclude that through your thinking process, how you feel about it. So this is how I know that you're in a higher feeling or a higher state of consciousness about it, because this is all happening in your mind, and you're acutely aware of this. Here, what's crowning you, here's where we're looking at the need for extra vigilance. Change could be coming, change that could be leading or affecting a sense of victory or clarity. Here's where we're looking in your near future, right? You could be dealing with a Virgo individual. In fact, we do have Virgo, we have Virgo here, we have some more Gemini over here. So yeah, third house, Virgo is third house energy. We're seeing, back up. Gemini is third house. We're seeing Gemini indicated here, even in the same sort of column. So I would say third house energy and even sixth house energy is going to be very, very important here, particularly in the first 2 weeks of the month here, guys. And when I say third house, I mean communication. I mean sparks of genius. And I mean short-term travel and brotherhood and not brotherhood and sisterhood. And, you know, what we're communicating, what we're involved in, and also, you know, jack of all trades, someone who knows a little bit about everything. Now, double that and we turn into a 6, right? So third house, Virgo rules the 6th house. Now we're looking at work, service, and health. Now we're looking at relationships where there's definitely someone, there could be a power imbalance, right? And it's very, very practical. This is something that's just, you know, it's in your ordinary world. It's not a fantastical event. It's just in your ordinary world. It could be at work, or it could be something that you're working on. So it is interesting in that sense for me to note that, you know, third house, which is communication, 6th house, work, service, health. So great deal of communication could be manifesting here within those areas in particular, right? So here in how you see yourself as the leader. You see yourself as the boss, someone who's in control, who can be relied upon, someone who's capable. This is not only a spiritual and entrepreneurial type leader here, but this is someone who is not only also interested, but highly capable of excessive income potential. So there is a great deal of money making here, and income, just income in general, and that could of course be assets and prizes and gifts and so forth. But ultimately, this is a person who wears their heart on their sleeve. They're very engaged with others. This is I would say, an extroverted type personality or a person. Definitely how you're seeing yourself, at least in the 3rd week here, is someone who's just very outgoing and effervescent. And then how others see you, right, is like goddess energy. So I read Empress as though it's the goddess, right? It's goddess energy. This is mother. This is, you know, in terms of maiden, mother, crone, in terms of the waxing, full, and waning moon. This is like the full moon situation here. There's, you know, a lot of energy. There's a lot of feminine and female energy. And like I said, very likely there's at least some type of conflict here, it looks like, between 2 women. Probably one is a little bit older than the other. Probably the air sign is a little bit older than the fire sign, if that's the case. But both extremely strong personalities. And then, yeah, like this energy in terms of how others see you, this is how you constantly give. You really show up. You really produce. Okay, so how others see you is not, you see yourself as someone who is in charge, and others see you as someone who has the production ability. Like you can constantly give and you can constantly produce. So you could be in a position to win something or to be put in a leadership position. I might look more closely at that. That's a little bit vague as an outcome card, so I'm probably going to look at that a little bit. But, you know, in terms of your hopes and fears here, we do have this rushing energy, this really sudden energy. There could be sudden change, right, guys? There could be some conflict, dominating, overbearing, sort of intellectual type of communication. Okay, so again, with this really strong swords energy. We have the page, an ace, the knight, and then the queen. So lots of air as well, right? So air, air, air. This is air ruled. So really what you're saying and thinking is going to make, or it stands to make, a huge difference. I can't stress enough to protect your reputation right now. This is your outcome card, being the Four of Pentacles. I mean, it's not a terrible card, but I am going to get some extra energy around it. It's pretty solid, right? The Four of Pentacles creates that sort of, that safe little box that you can sit in. It's a really nice foundation. But there is this sense of not being able to move. There is a sense of, even if you wanted to struggle with something, even if you wanted to invest, even if you wanted to, say, level up or change positions, there really is a stickiness here. There is an inability to make a move. So let's get an extra card on that. Can you clarify the Four of Pentacles is the outcome for Aquarius, August 2020? Why is the Four of Pentacles the outcome card for Aquarius, August 2020? Clarify the Four of Pentacles is the outcome for Aquarius, August 2020. Clarify the Four of Pentacles. I mean, it might just be, I don't think it's going to get much more complicated than that. It's just going to be like, it could be that a struggle, an argument, a debate, a conflict could be for naught. And this is another reason why I'd be really careful about that. Really nice to see that ace, guys. Second ace in the same reading, that's pretty significant. So yeah, it's about a new move. It's about, you're going to have to stand still on something. You really want to level up. Maybe you want a position, a coveted position, and it's just unavailable to you, or it's immovable at this time, or your hands are just tied at this time, because you can do it. You want it, right? It's new to you. It's an ace. It's a new opportunity. But yeah, it's over that four. So now on the flip side of that, the outcome could be that this has given way to this, that this immovability and sort of miserly type of I can't invest anymore, or my hands are tied over a situation, is met here with the Ace of Wands, and this could tear it up. So it's either supporting it or tearing it up. So by tearing this up, it means that this immovability has now been shattered. A new position or opportunity arises, and it's very exciting. There's a great deal of passion here. On the other hand, it could, and that would be tearing it down. And in support of this, it would be, reverse. It would be that this is going to overshadow a new opportunity or a new position. So, I would really protect yourself here, guys. I really would. I would really watch. Particularly, and I'm stressing this for a reason, if this is a work or employment situation, I would really, really slow down and consider protecting yourself, taking notes, and making sure perhaps even that someone else, maybe don't tell someone else what your plan is right now. Maybe keep your plans to yourself. I would avoid, if you're dealing with another woman in any capacity where there is some conflict here, guys, I would invite you to, be willing to take a step back. There are some big questions here for you. I think there could be some, I don't see the Seven of Cups or anything like that, and there's nothing that's saying that, you're actually confused, but there could be a sense of what's the purpose. So less of confusion, but about maybe even like you're pretty solid and secure in what you want and need, but there could even be a sense of like, what's the purpose of what is actually happening? Maybe you just don't agree with what is going on around you, and that is part of the conflict. Very, very interesting. Now, what have I got here? Good. Okay, this is the last deck. So we just have a couple of final messages for you here. I would say if your passions really are secure, if you really are invested in something, and you don't want to give up, but you do feel like something's in your way, whether it's another person or not, I would say maybe bide your time a little bit. Maybe look at other options. I think that there could be an element of power versus force could be important this month for you. Power being personal power, force being like aggression. So maybe consider those terms, force versus power. Power over yourself, power over your emotions versus power over the situation, etc. Something to consider. So we have why coming out for you. Why, and this is big question, why? This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. It's a pretty significant card, frankly. I would say the why in this instance is a little bit related. If I had to relate it energetically to any card in the tarot, it would be the High Priestess, because there's this inner wisdom, there's this inner knowing, sorry, not inner wisdom, there's this inner knowing. Inner wisdom is over here, by the way. Hermit really promotes and condones inner wisdom. And this is how I feel like you've got this special sort of like a superpower, right? That you feed yourself. You are not relying on anyone else. These are really, really independent energies. So that's a very positive part. But what is it that you really want? And perhaps even more importantly is why? Something to consider. So we have children, either yours, someone else's, someone that you're working with, or it could have to do with children. You feel like you're working with children, it's affecting your children. And then we have calling in your soulmate and true love. So your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations bring you together or bring you closer to a goal. And then this is the romance of a lifetime. So I would say, again, if your heart's really set on something, if this passion is something that's just not going anywhere and you really feel passionate about something, you know, make your needs and wants known. Just don't step over someone else to do it, because it will backfire. And then I'm seeing mountain lion here. That's leadership, and I'm pairing it with the king here, as you know, because this is leadership. Leo is the lion, guys. So, and there's a lot of power. There's already so much personal power here. I don't think you need to force anything. So consider these concepts, guys. I hope it was helpful for you. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video for your sign. Bye for now.